Well, it's the 15th of July, so that means it's time for Cap's Recap, my monthly little channel update series. And yeah, this one might be a bit all over the place. I don't know, we'll see. Had a pretty busy month and a half since the last channel update, and yet not too many things have changed. First up, the main channel, Ratchet and Clank, will be finishing up today, if it hasn't already done so by the time this video goes up, I don't know. And way back when, I mentioned Batman Arkham City would be starting up once Ratchet and Clank was over. But I kind of already got a lot of ongoing things going on at, like, the same time. That was so redundant. In addition to other things that I kind of promised to do. So for the sake of not making my channel more cluttered than it already is, I'm going to hold off on Batman Arkham City until Grand Theft Auto is over. Though that should be over probably the second week of July. I gotta check how I'm doing. I think I'm sort of at like the 75% mark of the main story for that game. And with Ratchet and Clank done, I'll be upping like videos of that to 3 times per week. So yeah, it's looking like early August it'll be over. Did I accidentally say July? Whatever. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I plan to have Danganronpa Trigger Happy Panic. Or is it Trigger Happy Havoc? I've already forgotten the subtitle for that game. The first Danganronpa game. I still plan to start that up once Phoenix Wright is over. As with the whole 16-bit summer thing, it hasn't entered full Trainwreck mode like the Summer of Sony and the Summer of Strategy did. But this month, or this past month rather, hasn't really been too consistent, or, well, more so the last 2 weeks. But as I alluded to in the most recent, well, as of recording this, the most recent Link to the Past part, the first week of July was really hectic for me. Like, normal people get to relax around holidays. I don't. Because that means family is home and they want to do everything in the world and drag you to different places. And yeah, to visit so many family members and other things that uploads were a bit sporadic for the 16-bit summer stuff. Link to the Past greatly suffered. Like, that should have actually been done. I mean, yeah, it's a Zelda game, but it's not the longest Zelda game in the world. And because of that, the fact that Link to the Past is still going on past when I had sort of expected it to, I'm going to go ahead and cancel my plans for Lisa. I may LP it sometime down the road, maybe later this year. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I'm not saying I'll never do videos of Lisa. It just won't be happening for the rest of this summer. Mercenary Kings and Yoshi's Woolly World. Yeah, I decided on Woolly World over the original game. As for other 16-bit summer things, in the previous update I mentioned that with some of the games that I had planned for like weekly little spotlight things, I wanted to do something a little special for them. Unfortunately, it's not looking like that special thing will be coming to fruition. I was actually planning to try to actually stream those games. And it's not looking too likely now. Or wait, did I actually mention I was going to try to stream them before? I don't remember. It's been a month and a half since the previous update, and I didn't watch it to get like a basis of what I've already talked about, which is what I probably should have done. But yeah, I planned on streaming some of the games in this 16-bit summer. It's not looking likely at this point. It could probably still happen, but it's leaning towards me doing the games just normally offline and then uploading them to YouTube. But we'll see what happens. Things can change in the blink of an eye. Though I am also almost a week behind on another 16-bit game that I was going to do, Castle of Illusion, and its remake, sort of like what I did with Kirby Superstar and Kirby Superstar Ultra. So those videos will just be going up whenever, if not mixed in with the remaining games I have planned. Also, earlier in the year, I did make a promise to LP the Crash Insane Trilogy when it comes out. And it's been out for 2 weeks now. Well, I regret to inform you all that I will not be postponing the parts that I've already recorded of that any longer. Crash Insane Trilogy will be starting up very, very soon. But yeah, I started recording Crash Insane Trilogy and it will be going up very, very soon. I say I have at least like 12 videos of that ready. It depends on how I break up the levels, actually. But yeah, I have a nice bit of it recorded. Like, nearly done with the first game recorded. Yeah. Also, my channel anniversary is coming up on the 26th. Unfortunately, this year I don't have a LP planned to start on that day. Mostly because I've run out of good Simpsons and Looney Tunes games. Well, I say that, but I'm sure there's some gems out there. Like maybe for the Nintendo or Super Nintendo. I think Bugs Bunny had some like Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that were actually pretty decent. And there is this one Looney Tunes game that caught my eye called Loon, but that was only for the Xbox and I don't have an Xbox. And then Duck Amuck looks interesting too. That's a DS game. And likewise with The Simpsons, I mean, I already know for a fact, like, the classic Nintendo or NES Simpsons games are really good, albeit really hard. And then there's the Simpsons arcade game, but I think that's been delisted? It might have come back. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then, of course, Simpsons Road Rage is really good, too. Unfortunately, I only ever borrowed the console version of that, and I own the Game Boy Advance port of it, and it's kind of awful. And then there's also Simpsons Wrestling, which is probably the worst Simpsons game ever made. It's a bad game. It's really bad. I don't own it, but I've seen enough of it to know it is really awful. I mean, glitches and bad mechanics aside, Ned Flanders is the best character in the game. That should tell you something. And then plus, like, there is Pikmin 3, but I kind of don't want to start that when I technically haven't finished Pikmin 2 yet. Not to mention, I already have a lot of things going on that need to be wrapped up, so yeah. So even though I won't be doing a special LP to celebrate my anniversary of being on YouTube, I still plan to have a special video up, hopefully. As for other upcoming things, well, back when I was originally planning like what I would probably try to shoot for each month, I initially scheduled a Yu-Gi-Oh game for this month. Though now it's looking like it's going to be pushed back until September. And yeah, I know announcing a game a month and a half in advance is kind of messed up. I mean, you know, we all could be dead by then. Hopefully not. But the thing is, I'm also unsure of what Yu-Gi-Oh game I even want to play in the first place. Like, I just know I want to play one. And every time I thought I decided on one, like, okay, this is definitely what I will be LPing this year, I then look at my collection and I see another Yu-Gi-Oh game and I'm like, oh, but that's a really good one too. So I don't really know which one I want to do first. So I guess I'll just have a little Yu-Gi-Oh poll. There's really no need for me to leave it up for an entire month, but I might as well, and then I'll announce the winner in August's update, which means we would only be 2 weeks away essentially from when it could start up. So yeah, planning ahead. And yeah, there's 4 Yu-Gi-Oh games I was thinking of doing. So if you're interested in Yu-Gi-Oh games, consider voting in this poll and yeah, to decide what Yu-Gi-Oh game I will be LPing. The games are Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, the game that Duelist of the Roses was kind of a spiritual successor to. Though not 100% because Forbidden Memories is not a tactical RPG style game. And quite frankly, the only things they share is the character model for Manawydan and the concept of fusing monsters together to make stronger ones. So yeah, Forbidden Memories is more so the standard Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game with fusions. The second game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Falsebound Kingdom, which is essentially the spiritual successor to Duelists of the Roses. Wait, which one came out first? Well, whichever one came out second, it was sort of the spiritual successor to the other one. But once again, it's an entirely different concept entirely, where Falsebound Kingdom is a real-time strategy game with some turn-based elements sprinkled in. It's a really weird Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, but it's really fun. And then it also has the Manawydan / Dark Knight / Nightmare character in there too, so yeah. And I say Manawydan like that's an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Character, when in reality it's just a creature or demon of Welsh lore. They just threw it into Duelist of the Roses because why not? Just tacked his name onto a character design that they already had from the previous game, but whatever. Anyway, third game is Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards, which is somewhat of an open world RPG. Okay, well, not so much open world, but there is some sort of exploration aspect to that as you explore around the city and duel with different people as you advance the story. And yeah, with lack of a better way of describing it, you're actually living out the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. The Battle City arc, at least. The fourth game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Eternal Duelist Soul. It's literally just the card game. You have different tiers of characters you can fight, and yeah, you just play the card game against them. There's no plot whatsoever. Once again, the 4 games, Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, PlayStation 1, plot-driven Yu-Gi-Oh! Game with fusions. Yu-Gi-Oh! Falsebound Kingdom for the GameCube, a sort of real-time strategy tower defense hybrid. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards for the Game Boy Advance. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! RPG where you get to play the main character in Battle City. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Eternal Duelist Soul for the Game Boy Advance. It's just the card game with a tier list. Not for the cards, but for the actual duelists. So yeah, vote on that. I'll leave the poll up for a month, even though I'm sure most of the voting is going to happen in like the first few days, but whatever. You'll give latecomers a chance to. And the winner of the poll will be announced in the August channel update. Also going based on the little schedule or tentative schedule I had set up at the beginning of the year, August would also be the time of the next Zelda game. And considering I'm not even halfway done with Link to the Past, that will not be happening. But yeah, I digress. Whenever Link to the Past ends will be when I start the next Zelda game. Or should I say games in this case. Because after Link to the Past is Oracle of Ages / Oracle of Seasons. Yeah, 2 different Zelda games with their own different stories, but then they can be connected to sort of advance upon each other's stories and then tell another third story that culminates the whole events from both games. And yeah, Nintendo was really on their innovative grind when they came up with the Oracle games. And personally, I think it worked, because these are some really, really good games. They're also my first Zelda games, so I'm kind of nostalgic towards them. But it also helps that they're really good games. Personally, I think they're better than Link to the Past, but that's just me. Yeah, other than that, I got nothing else much really to say about this main channel. I just need to get back on the whole consistent upload grind. And I've been doing fairly well with that. But there's still room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. As for the secondary channel, and I know you all must be getting tired of the excuses I keep coming up with for why I'm not doing anything with that channel. But to be fair, my excuse this time is actually, a good one. Because about 8 different times I was getting ready to do a video on the whole Alex Mauer situation. If you're not familiar with Alex Mauer and how she's an underhanded, sleazy criminal, I highly recommend skimming the tweets of this Twitter account called Mauer Watch, Mauer Watch, and looking at the videos Jim Sterling, Total Biscuit, Sid Alpha, and Sir Tap Tap have made about her. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, if you just type in Alex Mauer, you should find a lot of recent videos just chronicling this debacle. Because every time I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait to see what happens. I'm going to get all my information correct, and then I'm going to do a video. And then right when I'm getting ready to do a video, she goes ahead and does something even more ridiculous than the previous thing. Long story short, she didn't read her contract when she was working for Star Mazer DSP, got mad when she breached her contract and didn't continue to get paid for her work. So she lashed out and tried to remove the game from Steam, and then started filing false DMCA claims on YouTubers to get their videos of the game removed. And then that somehow transitioned into River City Ransom Underground, where she did get completely paid, but I don't understand her logic with that. And then also Death Road to Canada was targeted for some reason, and then she sent a cease and desist to Turner Broadcasting, and that's like, wow, you are going to get crushed in court. And there actually is a trial pending against her, but she just keeps digging a deeper grave for her and burning every single bridge that she once had, even with her parents. For the love of God, she even posted her own birth certificate to prove a point online, only to turn around and just be like, wait, why do people have my information now? I mean, for crying out loud, she just recently doxed her own lawyer and a federal judge. Not maliciously, but at this point, I don't even know anymore. It's like she just took pictures of correspondence with both of them just to prove that she had correspondence with both of them, but didn't redact any information, and the internet never forgets. So, yeah, it's a mess. And I was going to do a video about her, but every time I sit down, it's like she does something else, and then old information is useless, and then I have to do the new information, but then she does something more ridiculous, and it's just bad. Well, that's probably a blessing in disguise, because I don't want that to be, a negative drama channel. And plus, I wasn't even going to really make that video all about her. It was going to be about, YouTube's system allowing this to happen, and not really doing much to help out the creators. And when I actually had that point set in stone and was getting ready to do the video, I got word that YouTube was actually escalating the countering process for so many people and was blocking her from issuing DMCAs on other people's videos. And yeah, then that just rendered my YouTube rant moot, because they actually began to start acting. So yeah, but hopefully I will have something for that channel. I actually was going to try and do something for E3, but E3 as a whole was kind of lame, except for Nintendo. They killed it. And Microsoft, they did decent enough. Devolver Digital was outstanding as well. They only showed 2 games, but that press conference is one I will always remember. Sony was actually disappointing, though the Spider-Man game does look good. And I guess Ubisoft was pretty good too, because that Mario Rabbids game actually does not look awful. And then a Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer. It's not dead. It's going to be sad if that game ends up coming out before Kingdom Hearts 3 does, because it got announced after Kingdom Hearts 3, and both were in development hell for so long. Whatever. But yeah, hopefully I will have something to go up on that second channel soon. As for things going down in the real world, not much has changed. Still job searching. And still trying to find conventions and other events I can go to that won't destroy my wallet. I actually kind of wanted to go to Anime Expo and Indie Pop Con. Indie Pop Con being this convention that happens in Indiana. It actually happened last weekend, which was the weekend after Anime Expo. But yeah, my money definitely wasn't looking right for Anime Expo. And then Indie Pop Con plans fell through. And Evo's this weekend, but I mean, come on. Unless I'm actually playing one of the games, there is no way I'm getting the Evo. Those tickets are crazy. I mean, Super Smash Con is coming up, but I don't think I would make that a really big priority to go to. Yeah, at least we're getting some things happening in my area in the fall, so yeah, I have those to look forward to. Oh, wait, I think Con Bravo happens at the end of this month. Huh. That's a thought. That is, in fact, a thought. I'll think on that. I really will. Because that is in the realm of possibility. Yeah, but nonetheless, that doesn't matter right now. So yeah, since nothing has changed in my personal life, nothing should really change on the channel. Well, aside from being a little more consistent now that the holidays are over. So yeah, that's it for what is probably going to be a very long update where I rambled. But what else is new? So see you all next time with whatever comes up next. I still have no idea how to plan out this weekend, so I don't know. Link to the Past might be next, or Crash, or I don't know. Whatever. See y'all next time. Goodbye.